The power of the New York City Co-op Board. They can make or break your chances of being able to move into an apartment. And if you get rejected, well, you may never know why. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Erin LeBeau.
And I'm Shirley Chan in for Tamsin tonight. Now, co-ops are a major part of the New York City real estate landscape. Many of us know someone who has tried to buy into a co-op, only, of course, to be rejected by the board.
Yeah, and here to explain how co-ops work and how you can increase your chances of getting approved is the CEO of the Bizzarro Agency, Matthew Bizzarro. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we've all heard of co-ops, but not everyone knows exactly how they work. How would you say that they actually work?
All right, so first, I think the most important thing to understand is 75% of apartments in the city are co-ops. So when you buy a co-op apartment, you're technically not buying the apartment itself, you're buying shares in the building. They're usually less expensive than an equivalent condo or townhouse for a number of reasons, including the tax deductions, lower maintenance costs, reduced utility expenses. But buying a co-op is different from buying other kinds of real estate. In a normal transaction, if you want to buy it and the seller agrees, the deal moves forward. But with a co-op, once the buyer and seller have agreed to the deal, the buyer then has to apply to the co-op board for permission to purchase in the building.
All right, and it's if you have a friend and I have friends who've gone through the process, it is such a lengthy, invasive process. For people who've never been through it before, tell them exactly what the process entails.
All right, so yes, lengthy, yes, invasive. We're looking, if the thing goes smooth, if you're getting bank financing, 90 to 120 days to get approved, right? So first, you fill an application, and that packet is usually 100 to 500 pages long.
Wow.
And they're going to ask you to complete your, they're going to ask you to complete your financial picture, letters of reference, employment, basically everything. Once you submitted that, sometimes they want a physical copy of that to go to the members of the board. So try copying 6 500-page long board packages, but I digress on that. The board then verifies, and the management verifies, you have enough money to afford to live there, like debt to income ratio, generally under 30%. They verify post-closing liquidity, which is the available cash you have in the bank after you purchase. And so if they approve your application, you then appear before the board for an interview, and the questions are usually routine, but sometimes they can be very invasive. And after the interview, they then convene for a meeting to vote on whether or not you're approved or if they reject you. And that's co-op.
I could see this being frustrating for a lot of people. So granted, if they make it through that whole process with the application, they may still get rejected. Why?
All right, so this is one of the biggest reasons and problems with the co-op system. They can reject you for any reason, and they aren't required to tell you why. So they could reject you for legitimate reasons, like they don't think you can afford it, but they could also reject you for absurd ones. Maybe they don't like the dog you have. Maybe they don't think your style fits in. Maybe they don't like your Zoom background, right? So, but the one exception is Westchester, where they've recently passed a law that makes it illegal for a co-op board to reject an application without giving a reason. Now, that doesn't completely solve the problem because there's no guarantee a co-op board will be honest about why they rejected you, but it's a good start.
It sounds like it's just so subjective. Now, we should also let our viewers know that a bill was introduced last year to change the laws in New York State. It would force co-op boards to explain exactly why they rejected a buyer, but that's still being reviewed by the committee. So in the meantime, is there anything that people can do to increase their changes of being accepted?
Absolutely. So the first thing you understand is if you make it to the interview and get rejected, it's likely because of something you did or didn't do in the interview. Wow. So if they're going to reject you for something in your application packet, they usually don't bother to hold the interview. So much like a job interview, nailing the co-op board interview is crucial. Dress up and be prompt. You should wear the same clothes you'd wear to a professional interview. Answer questions concisely and politely, and don't offer up more information than they ask for. And be prepared for invasive questions. The board has the power to ask anything they like, even uncomfortable personal questions. And if you become visibly offended or annoyed, that could make them reject you. There are so many reasons, but I have a lot of tips for nailing the co-op interview on my website at bizzarroagency.com.
I guess also make sure you have the correct or appropriate Zoom background.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, they say too, like, we always coach, look what's behind you. If you're not Zoom background, like, check out your space because they could be judging your space. Look at that bookshelf, what's on it, right? Just these little things, every little thing could be examined.
Yeah, they might literally be judging a book by its cover.
Right.
Well, Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing this really pertinent information.
All right.
And for more information or to see Matthew's tips on nailing the co-op board interview, go to his website, bizzarroagency.com.